Hello community, Henry Friar, Arborist USA. I'm out here looking at some Shumard Red Oaks. Shumard Red Oaks today. Let's look at this one here in the center. First of all, man, these were lion-tailed bad. Look at that. Look how bad they are in the center. Folks, don't do this to your trees. When you cut up all the water sprouts in the center, it limits the amount of photosynthesis that the tree can produce, and the tree stresses that way, especially in a very hot summer like we're here in North Texas. It's been 100 degrees, 105 degrees. The tree really stresses that way. The main thing is that you reduce the amount of carbohydrates the tree can produce. Remember that foliage, there's two stomata in the back of the leaf. It opens up, creates photosynthesis. Photosynthesis converts over to photosynthate. The photosynthate feeds the tree. Remember that the leaves are there to feed. That's the factory, the food factory. And when you come in here and you strip out all your centers, and you have elongated trimming like this right here all the way to the top, and all your weights at the very end, you end up with fractures. You end up with fractures here. By the way, this is going to be included wood right there. Look at that. Right there. Yeah, at that protection zone, are growing separate from each other. Right in that area, right in here. So that could be a fracture down the road. We might have to mitigate that next year's pruning cycle. I didn't prune these trees. I just came out here to do an evaluation. Also, the climbing arborist, I'm not sure if he was an arborist or not, but you can tell that all his cuts were made improper. Look at that. So he wounded the tree on every one of these cuts here. If you look closely, that's his habit. Look here again. He wounded the tree there again, up above, when he made that cut. Some of these are a flush cut, too close. He went into the branch protection zone, which is right here, which is a big no-no. This area right in here is your branch protection zone. It comes out to about right there, and he cut into that. That has the chemical compounds to get the tree to seal back up again. When you prune your trees, you have to really look at making sure you have a good qualified ANSI A300 climbing arborist that's going to be able to do that for you. Yeah, this was just, look at all the elongated lion's tailing that was done on these trees. Once again, the story about the production of sugar, the improper pruning that was done. So you set up the tree for failure. Remember that when you make cuts on a tree, this can permanently hurt the tree for the rest of its life cycle. So you got to really plan these out. Whenever we show up to a job site, we really think about pruning. So this is what we do on our structural pruning, which is just native pruning. We normally leave all the sucker growth, all the water sprout growth, epicormic growth on top of the stem in place. If we're going to strip out anything, it'll be from the bottom, and we follow that train of thought all through the tree. We look at diseased branches all through there through a crown cleaning. If we're doing a crown thinning, we really think about, okay, well, we look at the impact zones to see if there's going to be a failure. Is it going to go over the house? Will it hurt a pedestrian? Can it get somebody killed? So we really think about the pruning from that aspect, and then we think about the overall tree's health moving forward. We look at included bark. Once again, included bark would be something like this right here. Let me show you another one. Included bark is a big one. We have two codominants like this here. These are two codominants right there, two codominants right there. And this one has a major pest pressure, if you can see. Look at that major pest pressure, it's right there. See that? All that. So this is going to need an IPM program. Man, I don't know, they might end up losing that one of the codominants down the road. Yeah, so that's a high impact zone. Definitely over the roof line. If there's cars there, they're going to be impacted. So I'm going to have to send one of my guys. I'm just doing a ground level observation. I'm going to have to send one of my guys up there to take video for me so I can look at that. Didn't bring my my scope with me so I can look that high up on the tree today. So when you're looking at doing pruning, you got to really think about not stripping out the centers. That's so important. Leave as much water sprout growth. Remember, that's the food factory for the tree. If you want some clearance, you can do some clearance here at the bottom, you know, for aesthetics. Still not proper pruning. You're supposed to leave, like this is major lines telling here, you're supposed to leave the sucker growth on the upside of the scaffold branch, okay? And this way you have a nice, full, dense canopy on, and the tree's producing lots of sugar for itself. This has got a real high arch pitch on it, a little too high. And what that does, it puts all the weight at the very end. Like this is like a pooch, like a dog pooch. All the weight's at the very end. If we have a significant amount of rain, it brings the branch down and it puts a lot of stress at the actual junction, at the union, and you can end up with a fracture at these unions that are here. So just trying to help you out, help our community out, that when you're choosing an arborist, stuff like that you want to look at. A real good book for you to get is the ANSI A300 book. That really helps you out to identify what proper pruning is all about, so you can educate yourself and you can help your arborist or your landscape crew that's going to be out here to do proper cuts on the trees. So these here, what we're going to do is we're going to get them in a micronutrient program. It's a little bit too hot to be doing that right now, even though we got quite a bit of rain today. But I want to wait till September, October, get it on a micronutrient plan. And then we're going to go with an IPM program in October to go after all the eggs that were laid on the tree for the fall, okay? So this way it goes in healthier into the dormancy. And then we'll come back out here again. We do biannual is what we do for the IPM programs. Then we'll come back out here again in March or April. And we'll get another IPM program on these trees to go after that pest pressure that they're experiencing and get more micronutrients. I might end up hitting these hard with probably a 13-13-13, more than likely next year in the month of April, late April. That's when you can start adding your higher nitrogen, so we can see more epicormic growth come back and they start to fill in. Hopefully they hire us next time so we can provide them with the proper pruning practices, because this line telling here, man, that ain't gonna work. All right, well, this is Henry Friar. Thank you.